ready.
This video example will explain steps for solving an equation by factoring. For the purpose of this example, I am using question number 2 of section 1.7 in this week's homework. X squared minus 5x equals 24. First, rewrite the equation to standard form of a quadratic equation. To do this, we must subtract 24 from both sides of the equation. Your equation should now look like this. X squared minus 5x minus 24 equals 0. Now we can factor the left side of the equation. At this point, I use a few easy tips for myself. I know that I need 2 equation sets, so I go ahead and mark those parentheses and add the equals 0 to the right, and that gets it out of the way. Next, I go ahead and write x at the beginning of each set because I know that x squared equals x times x. And we get that x squared from the beginning of the equation. Sometimes it gets confusing to know which sign or where to place the signs. So in this case, just remember that if you look at that last sign in the equation and it's a minus, that you have to have one of each sign. So we're going to put minus and plus in our sets. Now, at this point, we need to know what those factors of 24 are. And we get 24 from this last number. So we know that 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6 are all factors. In this case, we know that we need to use 3 and 8 because they are the only set of numbers that, when subtracted, will come up with a minus 5. So in this case, we're going to use 3 and 8. Now, we know that 8 is the larger number, so we need to put it with our minus sign, because we have to come up with a negative number. Now, all we're going to do is use the zero factor property to set each factor to equal 0. So we're going to take each set, x minus 8 equals 0, and x plus 3 equals 0. Then solve for 0. X minus 8 plus 8 equals 0 plus 8. X equals 8. And this is the answer for this set. X plus 3 minus 3 equals 0 minus 3. X equals minus 3, or negative 3. So our answers here, or our solution set, is 8 and negative 3. Okay? Now, the only thing we have left to do is to check. And in order to check, we have to come back up here to our quadratic equation, and we're going to plug in each one of our numbers, our solutions, back into that problem for x. So we're going to say x squared minus 5 times 8, that's 8 squared minus 5 times 8 minus 24 equals 0. 8 squared is 64 minus 40, 5 times 8, minus 24. And if you subtract all of this out, you will find that 64 minus 40 minus 24 equals 0, and 0 equals 0. So we do know that 8 is a solution. And for our last solution, have negative 3 squared minus 5 times negative 3 minus 24 equals 0. Negative 3 squared is 9. Negative 5 or minus 5 times negative 3 is going to be positive 15 or plus 15 minus 24 equals 0. And if you work this out, 9 plus 15 minus 24 equals 0, and 0 equals 0. So we know that negative 3 is also a solution, and our solution set is correct.